Good day, everyone. It's been a while since I've done a video. Seems like forever. But I am going to do a January cost of living at this point. Uh, I don't make money on YouTube. So, I mean, the numbers have to be pretty substantial to start making money and to maintain that. And with as busy as I've been getting in the last 6 months, I would say, it's hard to find time to adequately set aside time for YouTube. If you're depending on it for monies, well, then probably you'll take the time, you'll make the time. A lot of people who come here do not have anything else to do. And so this is an outlet to voice your opinions and show people what's going on. And certainly before I moved out here, I was always very interested in cost of living videos because we are all so different. The manners in which we live are so different. I mean, I have guys here, I know expats here that are happy with just a room and maybe a hot plate in a bathroom and that's it. Well, I mean, if that's how you want to live, I mean, that's totally your privilege. And of course, output would be a lot less. But I'm noticing for myself a more substantial increase in cost of living versus more than a year and a half since I've been here in the Philippines. Two different locations, one in Mindanao and of course here in Dumaguete now. But I don't think it matters where you are in the Philippines unless you're out in the country and what they call the province here, and you might be able to get by with well, you will with cheaper rent, but you better not be too selective in what you get for rent. So it depends on your cost of living, my friend. It really does. I like to be I like it quiet, certainly. I'm at the back of a development, and it's very quiet here. I don't think I see one car a day go through here. Like I say, I'm right at the back. Motorbikes, maybe 3 or 4 delivery boys a day. So it's to have a nice quiet place is nice. Now, having said that, 100 yards, 120 yards that direction is a rooster farm. And I think it's pretty well stocked now, and I think there has to be close to 30. So they start at 3 in the morning. By 5, you hear most of them. However, there's a 10-foot wall, well, at least a 7-foot wall, let me put it that way, on my side, that pretty much separates them from the street. And I barely hear them. I mean, when they, around 3 in the morning, if they start to crow, I know what time it is. By 5, if it's pretty steady, and again, I can faintly hear it. It's not loud at all. I don't leave windows open, so I don't get exterior sound for the most part. I just faintly hear them, and my hearing is very good. So it's not a contention for me. It might be for you, but let me say that you'll get used to it. Yesterday I was thinking, it was so hot and humid here, and I thought, am I getting used to this, or am I just getting used to putting up with it? And I think the latter is the truth. I'm just used to dealing with it. No, I hate humidity, I have this air conditioner set on dry mode, and have a video on that a few months back, and it keeps the humidity down inside. The output of air, AC, the cool isn't as much. You could switch it to cool, but you're gonna in 15 minutes you're gonna feel humid. So you wanna when you rent a place, make sure that it has a dry mode. And I just leave it on dry mode all the time. It cools and it deals with the humidity. So there's various things that can make you comfortable or make you ask yourself, what am I doing here? U.S. seems so much better, and maybe it will be for the next 4 years. Hopefully so. I'm not so sure that everything can be straightened out as it was prior to the last 4 years, but I don't want to get political any more than that. I was happy to leave when I did, put it that way. So cost of living is up, and it's reflected in my January, which I thought was going to be really low. So here we go, January 2025. And all of this is in pesos. So we're at food. I spent $27,467. Let's just say 28,000, and that includes groceries and everything edible, including eating out. Wi-Fi $16.99. That's $1,699. Now the cell phone, I didn't need anything other than Gomo, which piggybacks Globe. Gomo does you don't lose all the usage you have left over at the end of the month carries over. You never lose it, so it never expires. So it's just as good as Globe, where Globe works. Now, I'm at the back of this development, and I'm in the middle of Dumaguete. Not city proper, but just, if you look at the map, I'm pretty much in the center of the whole Dumaguete area. My cell service really sucks here. It's bad. So I thought, well, this month I'm going to add Smart, because it's supposed to be better at different areas. Well, I haven't noticed any difference whatsoever. At any rate, I spent 400 pesos for a month plan to see how it goes. Water, 226 pesos and 37 cents. And now for potable water, 180. That brings me 6 5-gallon bottles. You buy the bottles and they're cheap. Initially you buy them, and then you just either take them and get them refilled, or this place I use is just 2 blocks away. They deliver it for another 5 pesos a bottle, so big deal, 30 pesos each. Garbage, 60 pesos. Here they come every Monday. I don't have enough to give them every Monday, so I cut it back to every 2 weeks, unless there's a lot of food scrap items. I peel a lot of stuff, and I seal it up in bags and put it outside in a container. If that gets full, I'll get rid of that I'll have a bag of that every week, which is 10 pesos a bag, so it's minimal. Electric, 4715.82, 4,715.82. So that's at least 5,000 less. That's $100 less than when I started here. So yes, the turbines do their job, and as I have mentioned in the past, I had the owner paint the roof white because it was black. That makes the world of difference. So here we are. If anything, I've used more electricity, but it's down to that. So that's not bad. Gasoline, 2,000. Rent, 25,000. And again, that can fluctuate. I mean, 25,000 gets you a pretty decent place, pretty nice place. I think I could have done better for 25,000, but I was in a rush, and storage was important to me because I sent so much stuff here. So, so I'm paying 25,000. Now, Phil Health, my SRRV card, and car insurance. I pay those annually, but to break them down, and I it's in this total also. Phil Health, $1,250, $1,250. Why do I need Phil Health? Doesn't cover much, doesn't pay much. 15-20%, I understand, online. However, if you can furnish a current Phil Health card, it's quick access into a hospital. Otherwise, you better have some cash on you when you enter a hospital, because they will not even, if you can't give them any kind of indication of responsibility or the fact that you actually live here, it's going to be difficult to get in, or you're going to have cash, because before you leave, it's cash. You got to pay up. Credit cards, I understand. I have never used it, but I understand that you can. Now, you have to take into consideration the exchange. They might have a fee to use a credit card. I don't know those things. I haven't used a credit card, but that is an option. Now, my SRRV card, my SRR visa, that's Special Resident Retirement Visa, runs me $1,767 a month. I'm paying these annually, but that's the breakdown. And the visa does not expire. The SRR visa does not expire, but the card does. So they get you coming or going. And renewal is, I think they give you a couple options. I just go annually just to save the hassle. And yes, they send you a new card, so it's not free. And that is per month. I thought I'd made a mistake in speaking with someone else, but that's what it equates to. It's, $33, $34 a month to live here with a permanent visa. It gives you other privileges, though the other visas don't. Insurance, I have 2 vehicles here. When you buy a new vehicle, they give you a very basic liability policy that covers anyone who gets hurt if you were involved in an accident and they got hurt. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, even if it's not your fault, you're going to pay. That's just how it is here. The expectation that all foreigners are rich is real. And I don't care if you're not at fault. If it can be proven, you're going to pay. So what I have is what the car dealerships give you. That is, at least in new vehicles. Both of mine were new when I bought them. They give you the mandatory insurance that is that liability to cover other people. It doesn't cover you, doesn't cover your vehicle. And so I have comprehensive, which covers me and as well as my vehicles. And I went for the best coverage with the least expensive company, but I insisted on the best coverage. If I'm going to bother with insurance, it's going to be all the way or forget it. That equates to $21.41, which is around $40 a month for 2 vehicles. So you could get away without that, and assume, and I just might. But then, repair is on you. So also, I get a little bit better coverage on personal liability also, as in coverage for me as well as anybody I hurt. So it's up something that's up to you. Miscellaneous. Well, there's things I bought this month, rather January, that I hadn't had, and that's a 5-foot ladder, step ladder. I've got longer ones, but I can't bring them in the house here. And the purpose of that is to get up and clean the filters, take the filter down and spray it, the dust out. You need to do that because monthly, at least every 4 weeks, when on my vacation, this comes to mind just now, which was end of December and into I guess January 3rd. I was in 2 different hotels. One was a resort, and that was the last 9 days. But I needed a hotel for the first night. I wondered why that thing was working so hard and wasn't throwing any cool. So that's the air conditioner, of course, I'm talking about. So I shut her down, took the filter out, and I'm not exaggerating. There was about a 1/4 inch of filth. It was even more in certain areas, but there was a 1/4 inch blanket of filth. The whole screen, not just a little corner. So I moved most of that out, and I took it into the shower, and I hosed the thing down and put it back in, and it worked like a charm. In the resort, it hadn't been cleaned for a while. I would say maybe 4 to 6 months. Took that out and did the same thing. I mean, you want to be comfortable, you got to do those things because they're not going to be done here. The likelihood is, and if you're renting a place, they're not going to come around and clean the filters for you. You need to clean the filter yourself. In fact, homeowners expect you to wash the system down yourself too, and that can run you $20 to $30 each time, and you should do it every 3 months, 4 months. That is on top of removing the filter on the unit itself on the inside and cleaning that. Because what they do is they take it apart and they hose it down on the inside, and they also hose the compressor down on the outside. This is oh my goodness, split. It's a split unit. Compressor outside, blower inside. So there's those things to consider also. So what do we got? Miscellaneous, $13,861. Bought some 3 sizes of pots, which I didn't have, large, medium, small. So there's that equates to about $120 that I overspent for the month that I normally wouldn't spend. But all that came to just under 81,000 pesos. Now divided at the 58 pesos per dollar, which is the net exchange I received last time I changed money, and that equates to just under $1,400. So back out the 120 that I don't normally spend, we're still at $1,240 or so. So it's going to be tough for you to get by with a nice place. Again, depending on what you call nice. For $1,000, $1,200, it's going to be tight. If you're in the country, or if you're somewhere, anywhere, where you own or you're a Filipino owns the property and the house, and there's no rent, well then of course you're going to be way down. I mean, I'd be 25,000, approximately 470, 460, 470 dollars less per month. So yeah, in that case, you could get away with 6, 7, 800 and be living, really well. But if you're paying rent, it's gonna change the numbers substantially. So you need to keep all that in mind. What about laundry? Well, I have a good Samsung here that, typical washer and spinner, and so I take care of that myself. I do my own cooking and cleaning, which is I hate it, but I do it. So there are additional costs depending on how much you want to do yourself. And you have to take all that in consideration. So that's so much for January of 2025. I'm going to say that without the extras, $12.40, $12.50, and that's eating well. And I'm into vegetables and fruit heavily. And I tend to go, as far as meat goes, I go for chicken and tinned fish, sardines, salmon, which I bought I'm out of it now, but when I was in Bacolod, SNR, and the other place, I stocked up, but I got to go back someday. It'd be nice for a break anyhow, and just really pile it on. I like mixed nuts, and they're hard to find here. I used to buy in Costco or Sam's like a 1.5. Let me forget it. It's about a 2-3 pound plastic container, the big one, and that was $14. Let's say with inflation, let's say it's $18 now, 17, 18. I don't know. You can check it out, but the cheapest I could find around here that was similar is $26, and I just bought 2 of them. And that was online because you can't even find them around here. That is in the large containers with 6 or 7 different nuts in it, no salt. So things like that you're going to pay more for, and you have to take all these things into consideration. So you can spend a lot more than I spent. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't use Netflix. I don't even have a TV. I don't have time for it. Anything I want to see, I see on my phone, on YouTube or highlights of the news from the States and the weather. And I don't spend much time at that because I don't have the time for that. So if you're into these other things, you might need a couple grand a month to continue the lifestyle that you desire. So with all that, I'm going to shut it down. I've gone on too long, I figure, but sometimes I just feel like talking. So I hope this finds you all well, and have a good rest of the year. Until next time, take care all. Bye now.